welcome back to Kim Reads as we continue with Moby Dick, Chapter 12, The Line. Throughout this long tale of mine, I have described the many duties of a whaling ship crew. I have told you about the meals and mending sails and mats. I have told you about the harpoons and harpooners. I have described chasing whales and boats and dangers of being knocked overboard, but I have yet to describe the use of ropes. This may seem like a small matter, but it is very important. The sailor uses rope for almost any job on board the ship. We have dozens of different knots that we use for different jobs. One of the most important times a rope is used is after a whale has been killed. We need to use great lines of rope when pulling in the massive beast. When the whale is alongside the ship, it is secured with chains and ropes. A whale could be as long as a ship or longer, so this is a very difficult task. Ropes are tied from one end of the ship to the other using rails and masts for support. These crisscross lines are above the deck. Men perched on these woven ropes as the whale gets pulled in. The ropes must be constantly tightened and adjusted. If you're not very careful, the whole ship could sink under the whale's weight. It is very dangerous work. Not only is it hard to stay in place as the ship rocks with the weight of the whale, but it is very dangerous to fall. You could hit the deck from such a height, and you could also become entangled in the ropes on your way down. More than one sailor has been hanged this way. Rope is one of our most important tools, so treat it with respect. We always leave the rope just as we would like to find it. This is especially important when we are in a great rush. For instance, when we are coiling a rope for the harpooner, make sure it's prepared properly. We leave in a circle, the rope stacked on itself as the wind is as we wind it around. This keeps the rope free of knots. It also means that when the harpoon is thrown, the rope can follow easily behind it. Nothing will block it this way. There will be no tangles or obstacles. When you are a sailor, especially when you are on board a whaling ship, you must prepare for any emergency. Things can change in an instant. When you are hunting a whale, you must react quickly. You cannot be concerned about where to find the rope. Everything must be ready to go. It was part of our daily routine. We checked to make sure the rope was ready. We made sure that each of the whale boats has oars and lines and buckets to bail out excess water. This is how we started each day. And so, it was a day like almost any other when I climbed the masthead to start my shift. It was warm, the slow roll of the waves and sun bouncing off the water was very soothing. I looked into the distance over the water and was quickly lost in my dreams. Suddenly I spotted bubbles in a spout of water. There was a giant whale rolling in the waters near the Pequod. When it breathed out, water spouted far into the air. It was a beautiful sight. It was a shame that this was the end for this fine creature. I gave the call. There she blows! Captain Ahab called everyone to the boats and we were off again. All 4 boats scrambled to get beside the whale. It was a frantic time. Stubbs and his team went in for the kill. He called for the men to wet the lines. This meant that the ropes were getting too hot from all the strain. Stubbs' men dropped water over them to cool down. There was always the danger that the ropes could burst into flames. Stubbs' harpooner sank his spear into the whale's back. The whale struggled for some time until its heart gave out. The Pequod pulled it to a close. We all worked, the men in our boat and the crew on the Pequod, to drag the whale to the ship. We then pulled the whale apart to store its meat and oil for later. We had to do this fairly quickly because sharks were always swift to come and feast. Captain Ahab was not excited about the catch as the rest of us. I think this whale reminded him of another. He was thinking too much about Moby Dick, and this put him in a foul mood. Well, that's the end of that chapter. See you later.